Ah, I'm in my workshop. Finally, I'm in my workshop. Look at this. I got a Disco Fever. Here's a Sonic Butterfly. There's Spectrum that needs to be worked on. That's some sort of Bally. I don't even know what that is anymore. There's a Blackwater. Riverboat Gambler, which I pulled because it's having a couple of issues. I brought a Volcano home because it just needs a bit more work. There's a couple other ones over there. This is a Playboy that this I want to work on pretty soon. Needs a transformer. Got a new transformer for it. There's that Black Knight I've been threatening to work on for a while. I think the next machine I'm going to work on, though, is next pinball anyway. I think I want to work on is this Hollywood Heat, because I had it in the arcade. It's got some sort of something going on with it, but it was acting all quirky, so I yanked it. But today, we're doing something different, because right here, I've got a Galaga, or as I like to say, Galaga. Pulled 3 of these machines out of a garage somewhere, and I'm told none of them work. I haven't really dug into them at all. If you've never seen these open, it's pretty crazy. Crack it open. Monitor is basically missing all the things you need for a monitor. We look down in here. It looks like a squirrel or something lived in here for a little while, because there's lots of nuts and seeds. Those transformers look a little rough. I don't know if these boards work, but for my purposes, I don't care at this point. I've got a collection of, I got a 16-1 board that has Galaga on it. I also have one of these Pandora boxes. I don't know if I'm going to use that or not. I'll probably use this thing. Got some extra joysticks and buttons, power supply, JAMA harness. I've got basically everything I need to get this thing working. And then over there in a big pile, I've got a bunch of LCD screens that will fit into here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to gut it. I'm going to clean it up. I've ordered glass for it, and I'll get a glass underlay for it, or maybe I'll design my own. I don't know. But today I'm just going to clean it. I'm going to basically gut it. I'm going to hold on to these boards because maybe in the future I'll have a way to check them. But I don't really have a good way to do that right now. So let's pull this thing apart. Monitor is out. A bin of garbage. There's more stuff. And yeah. So it's all vacuumed out. I think what I'm going to do, there's a lot of ick. We'll just wipe this whole thing down. And, I got to take those board mounts out. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, just sort of dust the inside with some paint. I'll clean it all off the best I can, and then I'll just sort of hose down the bottom, just because, I think there were critters in there. So we'll lock in that freshness. And then I'm going to pop the coin door. We'll pull all this stuff off. We'll clean all this stuff off. And then I think I'll give it a coat of paint, because it's got a little bit of rust on it and stuff. And I have some T-molding to go. All the T-molding is missing from here. So I've got a bunch of T-molding over here for that. And there's the boards and everything. I'm going to save all of this stuff. The rack for the board, the speaker. I'm saving all the original stuff. Wiring harness I didn't damage. Because this might work. But like I said, I don't really have a good way. I don't have a lot of experience with these boards yet. And I don't really have a good way to test this at the moment. So I'm just going to carefully pack that away, and we'll go through it at a later date. I got the control panel guys off. They're dirty, but I think that they'll clean up really well. And then just looking on the inside, all of the switches and everything look fine. I don't think I'll need to replace any of this stuff. This one is kind of cool. I don't remember this from playing it when I was a kid, but it has this piece of plexiglass here, and then there's lights behind it. So I'll probably pull those out. Maybe I'll do something else. A different kind of light going on back there or something. But yeah, I think I can reuse all of this stuff, no problem. We're not going to cover every step on taking this whole thing apart, but let's take part of this coin door apart. A little hard to film and do this one-handed, but that's what I'm after right there, that little guy. Yeah, so that'll clean up. This is a little screw for it. Let's go take it over to the wire wheel and clean that up. It's kind of rusty, but it's not in too bad a shape, I guess. Blurry, but yeah, much better. Let's just give that a little shine on the buffing wheel. Got one side scrubbed down. That's pretty good. So next thing is to do the screw heads. Those came out pretty good. Little wear right there, but it should be fine for right now. I bought these mounts from IKEA years ago. I don't really like them. They don't really work very well, but I think that they'll work really well for this. So what I did was I had to add a little piece, I think it's a 1/2 inch piece of plywood to the back there, just to get the monitor to mount center. And those IKEA monitor mounts should work fine. I put these little brackets up here just to hold the monitor so that it doesn't drop down inside of the machine. That's the control panel for the monitor. I need to figure out something so it just doesn't hang there. I'll probably just sticky tape it to the inside of the monitor, but it gives me a little bit of movement up and down, left, right, and so that I can center it. I think that'll work fine. My Gemma harness is all sort of good to go and sort of tied down manageably. This goes to the speakers and stuff, so I don't need to worry about that now. What I need to do is these two sections have to do with hooking up these controls over here. The move, the fire, the start buttons, and move and fire over on the player one side. This bunch I'm not worrying about. This goes to the monitor, but I'm using the VGA output because this is a computer monitor. So I'm not going to bother with this. This will stay all wrapped up. This is for power. What I've come up with, though, what I'm not sure about is, so this was the original wiring harness that came with it. This unbuckled from the rest of the harness so you could take this whole assembly out. The other side of this, I have the wires for the other side of this, but I don't know about saving the Galaga, the original Galaga stuff or not, because I don't know how viable it is. It might just be totally toast. And if I do save it, is it going into back into this system or not? Probably not. It probably won't go back into here. And I probably don't need to save these for that. If I get it going again, I probably will just use the board. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to snip this about here. I'm going to save this end and the other end like it. I'll throw this into the box with the rest of the Galaga parts. And then on the off chance that I do want to, I don't know, put this all back together or all original, I can always just splice these pieces together again and use this original harness. This is probably old and tired, so it probably doesn't make sense to really reuse it. It would make sense to use newer parts, but I don't know. But all these solder points are all good, so it doesn't make sense to pull all these wires off and put different wires on it. Doesn't make sense to me. So I'm going to preserve this soldering. I'm going to attach these wires to their appropriate position here, and then just go from there. I think that that's probably the best, most logical sense. Okay, I've got everything connected. You can see I've painted the inside of the cabinet gray. I've got all of that back in place. Power supply. Nothing's bolted down yet. I just want to connect it up and make sure everything's working. Here's the wires that I connected, just soldered them together with a little bit of heat shrink tubing to protect them. And now we're into the switch test of the 61 board. So what this does is that when you hit the button, it'll highlight on the switch test to show that the button is actually working. So player 1 works, player 2 works. And we'll do left and right on the controller. Yep, that works, and the fire button, that works. And let's test the other side. I'm pretty sure everything works, but let's test it anyway. Okay, left works, right works, and the fire button. Great. Alright, we're a bit of a mess in here. Isn't that pretty? Yeah, so I think I've got this set up right. I had to add, because these controls are only left and right, and to program the 61 board, you need the up and downs as well. So I had to tap a couple of extra buttons in here, which we will change. Well, we're going to change like this entire mess. I just want to make sure that everything is up and working fine. So I've got my test button, my service button. That one of those is up and one of those is down for the player control on this side. Probably what I will do is I will get some little buttons and put them in there, and I may actually double up on this here so that down here you have an up, down, left, and a right, and then service button and test button, and they'll just be little buttons inside here, little control panel at the coin door or something. I don't know yet. I don't know. I just want to see if this has worked. So I think I've got it all programmed in, all ready to go. When I turn this on, it should start Galaga to free play. All right, here we go. Let's see. And now, Mr. Spock. Ah, nice. So let's see if we have sound. Hey, we have sound. Look at that. And this is just what I want. I want track mode sounds and everything too. So let's do a 2-player because I want to make sure that things are going to flip. All right, 2-player. It starts. I love the music on this game. That works. This works. Awesome. A little bit of one-handed playing action. All right, we'll just let him die. Nice job. We'll come over here. And it should flip screens, although it's hard to see with glare. But it did. Flip screens. Awesome. Guess I need to move this. That works. This all works. We are in business, even though it's horrific in there. I'll get a chance to clean all that up, but now I can sort of finish the rest of it. Yeah. All right, that's a little bit better. I still need to tidy this up. I have these. These are just like multimedia speaker kind of things, and here's a little subwoofer guy. I just need to get a strap that I can strap this in place. One there, and then the other one can go in there. Yeah, so I opted for a power switch to turn this on and off because we have to power the monitor, those speakers, and the little power supply that's over there in the corner. Where is it? It's over here in the corner. Yeah. To program it, I made this little panel, test, service, here's down, and here's up. So you have to kind of use a combination when you're setting things up there, and then when you want to scroll up and down, you just use those little buttons there. This is primarily going to be a Galaga machine, so I probably will never ever have to do that. But it's wired into the Gemma harness, so everything's good to go. If I want to replace this card with something else or whatever, maybe I want to change it to Space Invaders or something, so I could do that. I did not wire up the coin door yet. I don't know if I'm going to. I don't think I'm going to bother. I do think I'm going to wire up something for the lights here. And then these control panels actually have lights behind them. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with that yet. I might do an LED strip. Maybe I can do LED strips on the back of this thing. So when you put it down, that's the way to do it. That's what I'm going to do. I have an extra power supply, so I can just use like simple little USB type strips to pop them in there, and off we go. Great. So the only thing left to do is I need to get the underlay for this, and I have the glass over there, and then I think that we're done. Besides, you know, tidying up the cables a little bit more. So, yeah, pretty easy. So I brought the thing into the arcade, put it in the disco booth. I still need to get the underlay for it, and I need to get the monitor bezel. It's a little plastic bezel that just kind of cleans up that area. But it seems to be working just fine. It's all cleaned up. Coin door came out nice, cleaned up fairly well. So now the big test. We just got to let the public bang on it for a while and make sure it works, and these lovely women were happy to oblige. So that's the video. That's my little Galaga machine, and pretty happy.